What is up guys, Jarv here, back today jumping into Destiny. In today's video we have a preview of the up and coming 0 hour mission. We have a good look at the updated Outbreak Perfected, all 3 Catalyst quests, a look at the new exotic ship, and how to earn it via 3 new vault puzzles, and so much more. So be sure to stick around and enjoy the video. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to leave a comment and rating down below, and remember to subscribe for more Destiny 2 content. But without further delay guys, let's jump into the video. Now, upon the launch of Into the Light, we saw the return of the Whisper mission over on Io and the updated craftable Whisper of the Worm. This isn't the only exotic mission in Into the Light though. We also see the return of 0 hour and a craftable Outbreak Perfected when the mission launches back into the game in May. So I must highly stress this mission is not available right now and will be available in a few weeks time. But today we can have a look at the quests, all the updates, the new loot, and so much more. Now, whereas previously this mission was activated over in the farm, the main vendor and initiator for this quest is Ada 1 over in the tower. She'll grant a brand new exotic quest called Asset Protection, and this requires us to complete the exotic mission 0 hour, and you'll be able to launch this mission from the Into the Light subscreen on your director. Now, completing the mission will naturally grant you the brand new craftable Outbreak Perfected. We'll be taking a closer look at the weapon later in the video and specifically its brand new traits. But upon initial completion, Ada 1 will also start to grant you new exotic quests called Outbreak Refined. These quests, much like the Whisper quests, allow you to unlock additional augments for the weapon, and these quests will rotate out week over week, gradually allowing you to unlock additional perks and traits. Now, these missions will see us needing to defeat Fallen either in the Cosmodrome, over in Lost Sectors, or even in the Devil's Lair Strike. By defeating Fallen, these will drop inert Siva clusters, and we'll need to collect these in order to complete the first step of each of these weekly quests. Now, as well as doing that on a weekly basis, we'll also need to locate pairs of switches in the 0 hour mission on Legend difficulty, followed by a completion of the mission itself. Now, each time you complete these quests, it will unlock a new perk for your Outbreak Perfected, with the very first version of the craftable Outbreak dropping with Outlaw. Now, Outlaw was the initial created role, and this is where precision kills greatly decrease reload time. That will be followed by Rapid Hit, where rapid precision hits temporarily increase stability and reload, alongside Rewind Rounds, which is when the weapon's magazine is empty, it refills from reserves based on the number of hits. And finally, Headseeker. This will be very strong inside the Crucible, and this is where body shots landed with this weapon increase precision damage and aim assist for a short time, and body shots landed while the perk is active refresh the timer. Now, all 4 of those perks are incredibly strong. Some of them will pair really well with the exotic trait. This is called the Corruption Spreads, which is where the weapon creates Siva nanite swarms on rapid hits and precision kills. It also has an additional exotic intrinsic trait, which is where the weapon does more damage to enemies based on the number of Siva nanites that are attached to them. So it's with that in mind, it'll be interesting to see whether the nanites themselves will have a stacking bonus when it comes to things like Rapid Hit, Rewind Rounds, and even Headseeker. Now, alongside the Outbreak Perfected, there are in fact 9 brand new triumphs. We have Triumphant Outbreak, which requires you to complete the exotic mission 0 hour, followed by Vaulted Obstacles, which requires you to complete all 3 vault puzzles in the exotic mission 0 hour. Now, the original mission had puzzles in the vault. Now, it's highly possible that these have been reworked, and as a result, there's even a brand new exotic ship, which is called the Vimana Junker. Now, this is an updated version of the scrap ship from the original mission, so the similarities are very clear to see, and this is the exotic reward that you'll gain for completing all 3 puzzles. Now, the initial puzzle required us to use a Solar Void and Arc key. We made a video 4 years ago covering exactly how to do that, but Bungie did confirm that those keys won't be required in the new updated version of the mission. Now, alongside that triumph, you also have Quarter Hour, which requires you to complete the 0 hour mission in under 15 minutes. Nimble 0 hour, where you need to survive Trevor's maze and reach the Cryptarch Vault in the mission without dying. Now, Trevor is one of the more unique and challenging encounters in the middle of this mission. Trevor is one of the only enemies in the game that you can't defeat. Your only way to get past him is to avoid him, and the maze itself previously had 4 individual switches that needed activating, as well as various arc barriers that would switch on and off, affecting your route through the maze. Now, much like with the Whisper mission, it's highly unlikely that any changes have been made to the maze itself, but Trevor will still pose as much of a challenge today as he did all the way back when the mission first launched. And whilst we have new subclasses that help improve our maneuverability, you are limited with a height ceiling, so the abilities that you can use will be limited, which naturally will affect your route and choices as you progress your way through. And the next triumph we have is called Legend 0 Hour, where you need to complete the mission on Legend difficulty. We also have Flawless 0 Hour for completing the mission without dying, and 0 Help for completing the mission entirely solo. Now, alongside that, you also have 0 deaths for completing the mission without dying. And as we touched upon earlier with the 3 quests for your additional talents and traits, you also have a triumph which requires you to complete all 3 of the additional quests to unlock the additional crafting options for the Outbreak Perfected. Now, in terms of the updates and changes, a lot of these are very similar to the Whisper of the Worm mission, with a lot of the missions and their objectives being very similar. One thing to also bear in mind is most of the mission will likely remain the same, with the exception of the final boss fight. Bungie communicated changes to the boss in the Whisper mission, and by watching the Into the Light trailer, we can also see a fallen brig in the tower in the final boss area of the 0 Hour mission. So fully expect big changes to the final boss fight. It won't be just a fallen captain this time, and with the possibility of fallen turrets and walkers still being a key part of this fight, the 0 Hour mission at the end could be much more challenging and will certainly up the pressure and the race against time. And there will also be activity modifiers, which will naturally see the timer vary between the normal and legend version of the activity, and that's followed by arc threat, solar threat, and void threat. And this will see an increase on incoming elemental damage depending on the modifier that's available, so you will need to spec your mods on your armor depending on which threat launches once the 0 Hour mission goes live. This will likely change on a weekly basis, so whilst there won't be elemental keys that form part of the puzzle, there will be elemental threat modifiers which will change our approach to the mission each and every week. Now, the light level for the normal 0 Hour is 1810, with the legend difficulty coming in at 1830. And as we touched upon earlier in the video, you'll need to run the legend difficulty on multiple occasions if you want to unlock all the mission secrets and also the additional perks on the Outbreak Perfected. What is it that you're most excited for when it comes to the 0 Hour mission? Be sure to sound off down in the comments below. So there we have it, guys, a good look on everything that you can expect for the up and coming 0 Hour mission. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to check out one of the 2 videos you see here in these cards for more Destiny 2 content. And if you want to keep up to date with everything to do with Destiny 2, then be sure to hit subscribe as well. I'm going to be the game as always, guys, and I will catch you all again very soon.